in? Will you flood me with a drink? Or just invite me in?
Hey everybody, good morning. It is 3:44, 11/18/2011, and you're here with Tegan. Today we are going to actually brave the amazing, awesome, cool topic that is politics. Not many people know about my political, how I think politically, I guess you could say. So I want to shoot that out there. I actually have been through a few party changes. I went from Democratic to Independent, which is also known as like the middle independent. But I've actually switched completely from that. I'm actually now a registered member of the Socialist Party, because I have belief that government should control regulations of workers. Most socialist countries actually have very well priced system. I really do believe that in America, if we did regulate it, it would be a lot better. I believe that everyone deserves a fair share of everything. And when people think socialist, they think red communist. No, socialist is not like that. That's extremist. Socialist is a belief that much of the country should be government ran and understood. I'm not someone who's for big government, but I'm for regulations of a socialist state, if that makes sense. I'm looking to make those ideals a possibility, if that makes sense either. I don't know if I'm really wording that right. I hope that's not seeming. I'm about, and if government would have played a bigger part in Detroit wouldn't have been a desolate wasteland. Same with a lot of the bigger businesses that have gone out of business because of the economic downfall. And I do believe if government would actually step in and do something about jobs, we wouldn't have I think it's 9.7 now it's gone down to. Oh wait, it was 9.4 at the beginning of last month and went back up to 9.7 for unemployment rate. That number seems low, but then you have to think about how many Americans are actually in America and then take it from there. Because if you take that percentage of how many work, that's a huge amount. So I don't think really people understand how big of an amount of unemployed Americans there are because of the number. That's why Fox News, promise you, Fox News only says the percent and never says the number. Because of the sole fact that Fox News is a government-fed media machine. I'm not gonna lie. Most of Fox News' funding comes from Republicans. From donations. Yeah, they pay for airtime, honey. That's it. That's really bad too. And it is a very, very Republican conservative. And CNN's so much better, and media lies. It really does. And I think the government-controlled media is something worse because we have a freedom of press, and I mean the government has the freedom to say what they want to say. But I think when you don't, when you word it and you don't get the full facts, truthful, our government does lie to us a lot. And I do believe we should look forward in government and progression with government, because I do believe that we should be a government for the people, by the people. I mean, I uphold the Constitution. I love it. It was a great document written for its time, but that's it, for its time. This document's over 200 years old, kids. This document governs our country for 200 years. It needs to be remodeled, revamped, redone, and we really need to think about a huge overhaul for the Constitution because it doesn't fit this modern age. And on top of that, I want to actually take that since I said modern age. Yesterday, I want to thank everybody who took a stand for censorship of the internet. SOPA did not pass. It was great. I'm proud of you all. It was great. They did not push the issue anymore. And then we had the biggest turnout of callers to your representatives, emails, and it was tweeted so much, it was ridiculous. I'm very proud of the turnout we had for people who actually cared about censorship of the internet. First of all, the internet is a series of tubes that sends information back and forth. Okay, it is. But you have the right on the internet to say what you want. And think about this. The government would have to control by over 1 billion people a day. Imagine the amount of money, and there'd be no profit from it either, might I add. There'd be no revenue made from this. The amount of money needed to verify, collect these claims, and to watch it. The FCC would have to open a whole nother division to take care of this, and the division would have to be fueled by probably giving it a fair share, 200 members alone. Those paychecks would have to be filled by a government that has no revenue coming in at the moment, and this would actually generate no revenue at all, because all the court costs would actually go back to the government and be federally used for other things, such as as you've noticed, the rejuvenation of our working class heroes. All the construction on the highways is just the trickle down by Obama trying. I mean, you've tried and you've done a really good job with stuff you've done. You have helped us in several ways. I mean, you helped us with another hurricane, and you beat it. You had no problems with fixing that entire problem. It was great. What you did for the blackouts about a month ago, that was great. I mean, I'm very proud of you for taking a stand against all of those people who had that snowstorm problems. I mean, it was great that you all stepped in and dealt with it and got it fixed. Great timing. You actually helped us from going into a depression. Not many people really view that. You did. You helped the government from shutting down. You've done a lot. And it's not your fault for what you have to deal with, because you were given a shitty hand to deal with. I'm sorry. McCain would have done probably the same things you're doing. I'm sorry. I mean, you've done a really good job. I'm proud of you. You know, we elected you to be our president. I stand behind the choice that you made because I elected you. I wanted you to do these things, and you're doing a pretty good job for what you were dealt with. Bush, Clinton, and Reagan really fucked you over. I'm sorry. They really made sure that you were just fucked from the get-go. It's horrible. Reagan because he released free trade agreements. Clinton because he gave tax cuts to the rich, and also implemented importing with China again. And Bush because he was fueling 2 wars at once with taxpayers' money. And I'm sorry, but you're doing pretty well for what you've got, and I'm actually happy to hear that troops are starting to come home. And thank you so much for what you've done for the country. And I know a lot of people really look at you and go, oh, what? You did a lot. We're proud of you. Thank you. And that's another political view, is that I elected him as my president. I gave my vote. Now, of course, the Electoral College doesn't really give me a fair vote, but he was elected because we all stood up and gave our opinions. You elected him, and then you disgrace him by saying that you're sorry you elected him. You need to stand behind your president. I'm sorry. It is the political thing to do. It is the patriotic thing to do. The person you elected. If you elected it and you thought it was a good idea, stand behind it. Don't say, well, I didn't vote for him. You need to stand and say, I voted for him. Now, maybe it wasn't a good decision in the long run. We don't know. We haven't got there yet. If he gets elected at the end of those 4 years, we'll say, weigh him in. It's the best you can do, kids. Best you can do. Coming down from that, a lot of political views I have about, there's one thing really big right now, is the view of a Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. Under God was not in the original in the original Pledge of Allegiance. It was added in 1954, when a Christian nation of Christians, which is AKA the USA, decided that it would be the religious thing to do is to have it in schools. One view many people don't think about is that the Constitution and Bill of Rights were formed and written for a government that was for the people, by the people, because of the sole fact that the Church of England pushed us out of England, and we escaped, and we were Protestants when we escaped. That said, we were going to allow coexistence of religions in our nation. But we also agreed that when these bills, we didn't agree, but our forefathers agreed that when these were created, that religion and government would not have a part together, because the Church of England was run by King Henry, and that's why it was pushed away. It wasn't right. It isn't right. Government has no right in religion. Now, that being said, most Americans elect white Christians to be their governing people, governing officials, should I say. That also being said, America has no right, when you implement separation of church and state, has no right to put those together at all. It was implemented for those reasons, by those reasons, and it is in the governing document of the United States of America. No one has any right whatsoever to put them together. When public schools that are funded by federal money, which is my money, which I pay taxes to give that money to them to be used, and I don't support Christian views at all, then I don't want my tax money to be fueling those things. Now, if it's a private school and you want to say the Pledge of Allegiance and you want to have under God in there, that's fine. But if I have children and my children go to school and they don't want to be in my children are going to have the right to choose what they want to be, any way, with shape or form, whatever, I don't care. But if my kids go to school and tell me that they don't want to be Christians and they want nothing to do with God and they don't believe in God, but their teacher makes them say the Pledge of Allegiance and then say under God, and they feel that it is a violation of their persons, then I'm going to stand up and say something. Now, my moral beliefs are I don't want it in school. It is such a short phrase, but it's, again, violating something that is very sacred to the people. That is your governing document. If you want it in, that's fine. If you don't want it in, that's understandable too. But I really feel that it's an issue that needs to be not taken lightly, because Christian views in my life don't fit my life at all. And I feel that if you are going to press these against me, my offspring, or anybody else who doesn't want them, it is a violation of their rights as Americans. They have the right to be who they want to be, freedom of expression, right to say what they want to say, freedom of press, right to religion, freedom of religion, and those are 3 rights right there that are covered under the Constitution. I'm sorry, but you are not allowed to violate those, regardless of how you feel. That being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I talked a lot in it, but I hope you all understand, and I hope you have more questions from this, and yay, it's over. So thank you for watching. Everyone who watches, I really thank you. We're on number 11 now, which is really cool. I mean, I didn't think I'd do this many videos and be like, cool, I'm going to keep going with it, but I keep having people ask me about stuff, and I'm really getting choked up for some reason. Like, it hurts. Oh, I haven't eaten anything at all. That's probably what's doing it. Okay, I'll see you all later. Bye.